My name is Omar Muhammad. I am the director of the Entrepreneurial Development and Assistance Center here at Morgan State University. We work with a number of young individuals, especially the students here on campus, within the community, as well as seasoned entrepreneurs, those individuals who are looking to start, operate, and grow their business. So I've been fortunate to be able to be here for the fourth time to give some brief remarks about the center, but also to introduce our president here at the university. So a couple things. So last year I told you about my four daughters. Anybody remember that? I have those four daughters from 8 to 30. So last year, my high school student, she decided not to come to Morgan State University. She decided not to go to any university. She decided to go into the military. So she's in the Navy. Any Navy vet? All right, there you go. So I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her. She didn't take the route that I took, but she took a route. And that leads me into my next discussion, and that's about working with the young people. So back in April of last year, people thought that Baltimore was on fire. You know, my wife is from Milwaukee, and her father called to say, "Y'all all right?" I said, "Yeah, we all right." You know, Baltimore is all right. When I travel around the country, I tell people where I'm from, and I tell them that I'm from born and raised in Baltimore. So what do you think that they ask me? The Wire. We need to get rid of that show. I was in Mexico, Tijuana, and I told the guy that I was from Baltimore, and he said, "You guys have more crime than we have." That's not good, y'all. So we have to change that. We have to change that dynamic. Young people need an opportunity, and I saw some young people here today. They need an opportunity. So I'm working with some local entrepreneurs where they call Ground Zero, Penn North. I'm working with them to create entrepreneurial ventures. I'm working with a local entrepreneur. He's been doing this for a lot of years. So we're integrating, or we're developing an initiative called Image 100. And Image stands for, well, it's spelled EMAGE. No, I know how to spell, y'all. So it's Image is engaging, or entrepreneurs making and growing enterprises. So we want to engage 100 young people between the ages of 18 to 30, 25, I should say, 18 to 25, and give them an opportunity to experience entrepreneurship. So starting this year, for the next 4 years, we're going to engage those entrepreneurs. We're going to help them start their business, give them resources, as well as give them mentors and advisory boards to really help those individuals. Now, my preference is I want some young ladies, since I have four daughters, but we're going to mostly focus on young African-American males to get them to start their enterprise. So when I go back to Mexico, the guy won't be saying you got more crime than us. He'll be saying that you guys have more young entrepreneurs than us that are growing enterprises, but also are growing the community as well. So without further ado, let me introduce our president of Morgan State University, Dr. David Wilson.
Thank you very much, Omar, and good morning. It is really an honor for us here at Morgan to invite back to the university TEDx Baltimore for the fourth straight year. This is really wonderful. I understand you're going to have almost a full house here today, and I look excitedly forward to taking in many of these exciting talks. I have looked at the entire schedule, and indeed they are very impressive, and I look forward to hearing as many of them as possible. I do want to just say a word or two about the university, and then say a word or two about my travel along the path to the presidency here, and then get off the stage so you can hear those great talks. Morgan is just a phenomenal university. In 2 years, we will be celebrating our 150th anniversary. During that time, we have produced leaders from Morgan literally all over the world. And today, we have a very, very strong, what we call value proposition for America. We are number one in the United States of America in producing black electrical engineers out of this institution. We are number one in the nation in producing black civil engineers. We're number one in the nation in producing black industrial engineers. We're number three in the nation in producing black engineers in all fields. North Carolina A&T University, North Carolina, by the way, is number one. Georgia Tech is number two, and Morgan State University is number three. The National Science Foundation conducted a study just last year looking at every single black person in the United States who had received a PhD in math and science between 2008 and 2012. Every single person. And they wanted to know, where did you get your undergraduate degree? Well, in the field of math and science, Morgan State University, number 5 in the nation in terms of those students who had come here. They had gotten their undergraduate degrees in the sciences and in engineering, and they had gone on to the MITs, the Stanfords, the Cal Polys of the world to get their doctorates. When they broke it down by gender and only looked at engineering, with regard to all black females who have PhDs in engineering between 2008 and 2012, Morgan State University, number one in the nation in terms of where they got their undergraduate degrees. And so we here at Morgan know that we are in the business of enabling young people to realize their dreams. And as president, I have never had a bad day in my nearly 6 years in this office. Because when I walk the campus every day and I look into the faces of these young people, I see images of myself. Briefly, I was born and reared in abject poverty in Alabama. I grew up on a plantation there where my father farmed cotton. And he had a system in place where he would keep us out of school 3 days 1 week, and we would go 2, and reverse it the following week. And so I was in the 7th grade before I was able to attend school 5 consecutive days. But that did not, if you will, indicate in any way the great potential that I had. It's just that that potential was not being nurtured in the proper way. And so one day I said to my father, I said, you know what, I want to go to college. And he said to me at the time, he said, David, college is for white people. That was devastating. But, 5 years passed, and I got up one morning in the shanty there in Alabama, ready to go off to college. And he got up in the other room, and he came, and he said, I'm awfully proud of you. He said, you're about to do something that no one in this family has ever done. He said, you're about to go to college. And I knew I was about to break the cycle of poverty. And he put his hands in his overalls, and he pulled out something that he called a piece of money. He said, I want you to know I've been saving for this day when you told me 5 years ago that you would go off to college. And he said, hold your hand out, son. And I did. And he grabbed this thing out of his pocket, and he put it in my hand. And he put his hand over mine, and he said, I want you to use this wisely. And I looked at him, and the tears were flowing. And I said, Daddy, I certainly will. And I went outside, and I stood on the front porch, and I opened my hand, and there in it was a crisp $5 bill. That was all that my father was able to save for 5 years to send me off to college. And so when I set foot on this campus, I reflected on that, and I decided to start here at Morgan the $5 scholarship program in honor of my father, a program today that is worth $1.5 million. And so That is simply designed to make sure that the talent that I see on this campus every single day will be nurtured, it will be developed, and the lack of financial resources will not stand in the way of their continued effort to lead the nation in all of these categories. We welcome you to Morgan. We hope that you have a great, great rest of time here. Good day, and thank you very much.